Hello, everyone. My name is Rick Finiesa. I'd like to welcome everyone here this morning on behalf of the Mabo Day Townsville Zanath Working Group. I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of this land, the Wulkarukuba, and also the neighbouring Bindal people and nations. Thank you.
The first song the boys are going to perform for you here is about somebody mourning for his mother. And because Uncle Koiki never got to see his mother, so that's why we chose this song for this morning on this 28th anniversary of his. Nakwe marim kara 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 wai ama kara 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 wai ama kara 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 kana kwe marim kara 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 wai ama kara 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 mai wai ama kara 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 kana kwe marim kara 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 wai ama kara 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 mai wai ama kara 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 kana kwe marim kara 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 wai ama kara 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 mai kana kwe marim kara 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 wai ama kara 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 mai the next performance for the boys are going to do is about the northeasterly wind. About this time of the month, winter time, the wind blows, and this is about the storm it brings and the sound of it. Thank you. Koki ge gir gir mudat karti boy ge ti teredi wai koki you I get da peadi The next song, the boys are going to perform here this morning. It's Uncle Koiki's favorite song, and it's called Karaged. Karaged in my language, my land. My land, and how the wind and the sea blows, the wind blows and the sea rushes to kiss the shore. And this is what we're going to sing today. Thank you. Marie, edebe, ekodomi, ride, enasigli, ekarage, Marie, edebe, ekodomi. Gawar, gawar, mut. Karagi, Mari, O Salvori. Karagi. Gawar, gawar, mut. Karagi, Mari, Salvori. This is the last performance the boys are going to do for you. It's a tap dance with the shakers, and they're going to give to you for the last performance. Thank you.
Keep up. Hey, hey, hey.
You want another one? Another one, easy one. Okay. When you sing with me? Yeah. When you sing? We're going to sing one song here. Yeah, we're going to sing one song here. It's about our island on the end of the barrier reef. It's called Kariba Get Nore. Ready? Kariba Get Nore. Hey, oh, oh, Mariana de Julia. Hey, oh, oh, Kariba Get Nore. Hey, oh, oh, Mariana de Julia. Hey, oh, oh, Kariba Get Nore. Hey, oh, oh, Mariana de Julia. Hey, oh, oh, Kariba Get Nore. Hey, oh, oh, Mariana de Julia. Hey, oh, oh, Kariba Get Nore. Hey, oh, oh, Mariana de Julia.
Families, on this wonderful day, we will continue the program with some other guest speakers will be coming out pretty soon. Thank the Miriam dancers that has performed for us today on this wonderful day. We are, it's a special day for us, but also with the COVID-19, it helps us to have everything online. So thank you for all the people who are behind the scenes and who are making things possible today to be broadcast. The working group especially, who has worked tirelessly over the last few weeks to bring this to fruition today. It's a wonderful day, this Mabo Day here, and we're looking forward to celebrating with you. Wherever you are online, I wish you that you are having a happy Mabo Day, that you're celebrating with your floral shirts, your flowers uploaded on the Facebook page to make sure that we celebrate this day. So keep tuned, families. We're not too far, and the program will continue on. Thank you. Okay, happy Mabo Day. Happy Mabo Day to those out there. Our program is continuing today on this exciting day here at the Memorial in Townsville. We have some wonderful guests who will continue on. The program will be as follows. We'll have laying of the wreaths by Gail Mabo and the Mayor Jenny Hill. I'd like to recognize both of them who are here today, acknowledge their presence, and we are grateful and humble for them to be here as representative in our community. So we're thankful for their time and effort to be here. So without further ado, now we'll have the laying of the wreath, and then following we will have each of them to say a few words. So keep tuned, families. Thank you for joining us, and we'll continue with the program as follows. Thank you, family. So now our first speaker will be Mayor Jenny Hill. Mayor.
I'd like to start by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land, the Walgarugabar of Gurrumbilbara and Yombenen and Bindal people. We pay our respects to their culture, their ancestors and their elders, past, present and all future generations. Could I acknowledge the Townsville Zendart Community Working Group, to not just the Mabo families but all of the families who are here who were part of the famous land rights case. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It gives me great pleasure to gather here with you on such a significant day for not only our Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples, but to acknowledge a vital turning point for Australia as a whole. In the 17 and 1800, European kings and queens had absolute power. They would subjugate not only their own people, but those in the countries they colonised, using the fiction of terra nullius to justify their actions. But on this day in 1992, 28 years ago, the grit and determination of a group of leaders from Mer saw a landmark decision made in the High Court. The overturning of the legal fiction of terra nullius in a battle for Indigenous land rights. But as much as we celebrate the decision as a victory for our Indigenous community, as a nation we must recognise that the battle that Eddie Mabo and his fellow plaintiffs, Reverend Dave Passy, Sam Passy, James Rice and Salua Maposali, and Indigenous Australians have faced throughout this country's history. And while the High Court decision is known throughout the whole of Australia as a turning point and victory for the rights of First Australians, here in Townsville, the Mabo case has its own special place. Eddie Koiki Mabo was a remarkable man. He was born and raised on Mer or Murray Island, but he spent a large portion of his adult life not just in North Queensland, but here in Townsville. We were honoured to have Eddie Mabo as a resident, a friend, family and a colleague. It is well known that it was at James Cook University while working as a gardener that Eddie began to question the concept of terra nullius, which had been the basis of land ownership in Australia since 1835. Until he met Henry Reynolds, the historian at James Cook University, Eddie Mabo was certain that his lands on Mer were never lost to him. He would speak fondly to all about his village and his lands. But Professor Reynolds exposed the brutal legal reality. The lands on Murray Island that Eddie Mabo saw as belonging to his family were actually Crown land, property of the state of Queensland. The Australian legal system did not recognise traditional laws and customs under which Merum people acquired rights to land. It was a day of a shocking realisation that Eddie Mabo became consumed with fighting for legal recognition of his rights to land on Mer. For 10 long years, Eddie and his co-plaintiffs fought a complex legal battle. But it was today, the 3rd of June in 1992, the High Court announced its landmark decision, namely overturning terra nullius. Sadly, Eddie did not experience this historic moment. He had passed away just 5 months before the High Court ruling. But his legacy has been strong and enduring. The Mabo ruling inserted into Australian law the legal doctrine of native title. In recognising the traditional rights of the Merum people, the High Court also held that native title existed for all Indigenous Australians. The following year, the Native Title Act was introduced, opening the way for further claims to land rights and compensation throughout Australia. So 28 years on, and aptly during Reconciliation Week, we can look back with immense pride in the determination and the actions of one man. And we can reflect how one person can make a huge difference. The fire that Eddie Koiki Mabo's belly enraged and empowered him to fight for what he believed in, a battle that changed the laws of this country, our lives and our nations. I hope you enjoy the Mabo Day commemoration today, and I'm extremely proud to join in supporting such a significant day on behalf of the Townsville community. Thank you.
Families, our final speaker for today will be Gail Mabo.
Happy Mabo Day. Well, 2020, we're here again celebrating the day that changed the nation. It's not Melbourne Cup, it's Mabo Day. And one of the things is that, you know, we as a community, we all should stand united, because this day changed the nation for the fact that what my dad did changed history. And that should be celebrated. Plus also, he was a local hero. So let's celebrate the man who lived in this community, but who's changed history. Is there anyone else in this town who has changed history? I know there's a man that did something that is, you know, unreconcilable, but we have to acknowledge all of those all the bad things that have happened in our past to move forward as a people. And one of the things is, you know, I see all the disruption that's happening all over the world. And we all have to remember that Black Lives Matter. And with Mabo Day, let's celebrate that as a day that we all become united. Let's not be divided. The colour of the skin means nothing. It's what's in that person's heart. And one of the things is, you know, my dad was passionate about fighting for his land. So if he didn't get told that his land wasn't his, it wouldn't have started that fire in his belly. For 15 years, I lost my father because he had to go off and collect information about how land was gathered, how land was handed down from all those old people to make sure that he had all the information to take to court. And you know what? When he came home, we went fishing, because one of the things was we had no money. All the money we had, we gave to our father to help him fight for his case. And so we would go out and we'd go fishing, and we'd stock up our fridge with fish. Because fish you can make all different ways, and it's really nice. But one of the things is, you know, we had families who lived in the Burdekin, who worked on farms, who gave us produce. We had family in Atherton who gave us more food, and we survived. But one of the things is, all the money we had, it was for my father. It was to help him fight for what was his, because no one was going to take that away from him. Many a times I sat with my father, and you know what? There were times he cried. It's very hard to console a father when he's crying. Because what do? Do you hold them? Do you just sort of sit? So you sit, you let him go through his motions, and then let him talk. And when he does talk, you hear the fire come back to his belly. That moment that he had is not going to stop him. And all the plaintiffs that stood by his side were instrumental in changing history. And you know what? One of the things is that we have to remember, and I will always remember, the strongest person that stood by his side was my mother. Last year, we didn't celebrate Mabo Day because she'd passed away just before, in 2018. So we sat quiet. But the passion will never be silenced. The passion will never be quiet. The passion that my father had burns within all of us, because Mabo Day is for everybody. And one of the things is, you know, I just had my grandchildren here, and the first thing that came out of their mouth was not hello, but happy Mabo Day. So let's make that infectious. Let's everybody say that on this day, that we all celebrate it together. Because that's how we can become united in that one sentence, happy Mabo Day. Thank you.
Okay, families and friends, thank you again for Mayor Jenny Hill and Gail for the wonderful words on this special day. After this, we'll have on Facebook some more pre-recordings that will be done on Facebook, so keep your eye out on that. And then also to YouTube, later about in an hour or so time. Thank you again, everyone. Have a happy Mabo Day, and we are grateful for this opportunity to come down here. You know, as with the COVID-19, we have to be creative, hence we have gone to put things on Facebook, on social media and YouTube. So we thank you for the working committee, the media, people behind here, Gail and Mayor Jenny to come down. We are grateful that Heavenly Father has blessed us, and also like to recognize the land that we're on, the traditional owners, and that we are productive on this day, and we are happy, as Gail said, to bring unity. For there is unity in community. Happy Mabo Day. Thank you.